Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mings, and I am finally back with some more Advanced Wars content for you guys. Sorry for the long hold up. I've been busy with multiple huge projects that have been eating up a lot of my time. I hope to have some of them ready soon. But until then, I bring you guys a very special Advanced Wars video. We have a chance, ladies and gentlemen, to make Advanced Wars by Web history by adding the first new CEO to the site in over 20 years. Now, over at the site, one of the admins named Red Halo, he has created a petition called Add Clone Andy to Advanced Wars by Web. In case you guys remember, some of us are trying to forget, but in the reboot camp, they added a brand new CEO in the form of Clone Andy. He was just regular Andy without a superpower, but what made him unique is that you could play him in Advanced Wars 2. So basically what that means is you get Advanced Wars 1 Andy and Advanced Wars 2, which is a slightly weaker version of Andy. But what makes this unique is that we could add him to Tier 4. Now, in case you guys don't know, on Advanced Wars by Web, Andy is Tier 3. But Clone Andy would probably be Tier 4, since he's Andy without the superpower. So, if you guys would be interested in seeing Andy added to the site, head over to this petition, sign it. I don't know if multiple signatures will convince them to add him, but we can try, right? It'd be nice if for no other reason than to add a new CEO to Advanced Wars by Web and spice up the Tier 4 metagame a little bit. Because again, we haven't seen any new CEOs added since the site's creation, and it would be nice to see. So today, D just messaged me and he was like, "Hey man, we should play a vlog game. And I play as Clone Andy and you play as a Tier 4 CEO. And let's see how good he really is." I'm just going to pick Andy, but I'm not allowed to click my superpower button. It's not quite like Clone Andy, because again, on Advanced Wars by Web, Andy still has the 3 extra power bars. Clone Andy would only have 3 small power bars. He would not be able to actually save up anything beyond that. So in reality, Clone Andy would be a little bit weaker, but it still gives us an idea of how Clone Andy would perform in the Tier 4 metagame. Of course, Djus is a lot better of a player than I am. I'll link to his channel. If you haven't, you should really check it out if you haven't. He's an absolutely amazing content creator, and I always love playing against him. So I was like, okay, I'll play Jess against you on Goldfish Princess. I love this map. It is one of my favorite maps on Advanced Wars by Web. I really, really dig this map. Every time I play on it, it creates absolutely hilarious games. And of course, you guys know I love Jess as well. So, you know, today I figured I'd cast my game. I know Djus is probably going to cast it from his perspective as well. And yeah, we're just going to jump into it and let's see how Clone Andy performs against Jess, shall we? Let's get started. So, Goldfish Princess. We got 3 bases right here. Got 2 black boats in the center. Kind of exposed HQs, although HQ caps are not super common on Goldfish Princess. They can certainly happen, but they're not like super likely to happen. But I do like the 3-base 1-com tower setup. Jess is actually slightly better on 2-base because tanks are more prevalent in 2-base fights. And there are more infantry, which of course is not great for her minus 10% firepower weakness that she has. Kind of sucks on this map, but one of the reasons why Jess is so good on Goldfish Princess is that she can like really spam tanks, and tanks are really good on this game, or on this map. But also the map, there's just a lot of good engagements for your tanks to take in the center here with these like 4 empty missile silos. You can see right here, you can actually attack capping infantry from the missile silos, and it's really hard for your opponent to come in. Like, if you put a tank here, your opponent comes in here, strikes the tank, you can attack him from the bottom, from this empty missile silo right here. So there's just a lot of good tank engagements to be taken. There are airports on this map. Battlecopters are decent, but because of the open map, anti-air can usually reach the battlecopters really easy. So battlecopters are good, but they're not super prevalent. So mostly it's like a tank map. Now I open up a recon right here. Because again, look at all the roads that are leading over to Djus right here. I'll be able to move this recon over here to interrupt some captures. Knowing Djus, of course, he loves recons as well, so he's probably, yeah, he opens up a recon right away, as you can see right here. And he might send it south, he might send it north. We'll see. I send my recon into the center. That way I'm able to send it either south or west, depending on what I want. And of course, one of the benefits of being Clone Andy in this situation is that, you know, he can always take engagements with his recons and tanks, get them damaged, pull them back, save them up until he gets his power, and then repair them up to get a lot of value. Now, I will say, though, Jess is a pretty good CO to pick against Andy normally. Because, again, what you want against repair-based powers is you want the ability to deal a lot of damage, which Jess can do really well, especially on one com tower. So, you can see that Deegis is sending his recon over here. He's sending his recon to the north, so he's actually going to be intercepting my recon. With my recon, I'm actually going to be able to get a little bit of sight on him, which is nice. Now, this is a live game, so you can see the timers in the right-hand side of the map right here. The timers didn't really end up being super consequential, but it's still something to keep in mind when looking at how much time both players spends. So here, I believe Deegis, yeah, he doesn't see my recon, and I doesn't see his recon. I only see the black boat and the infantry over here. So I actually do decide to go for the attack here, because I know at this point, his tank is not going to be able to reach me. Of course, he had a recon there, which means he's still going to be able to take a pot shot. But I'm okay with this. This infantry is on a harbor, so it's not going to get healed up, which means that its capture capacity is going to be a little limited. So trading a couple of recon HP for an interrupt cap, I think, is pretty okay. You also want to be using these black boats wisely when you play, because these black boats can really do, like, they can do a lot for you by, like, repairing tanks, taking engagements against other tanks and whatnot. A very solid unit that you should definitely keep an eye out for. D just goes for his com tower right here. Now, I want to pay a little bit of attention to Deegis' cap game. Oh my god, look at that. That's a good roll right there. That's a good roll right there. If you take a look, if we bring up the damage calculator right here. If we bring up the damage calculator right here, we can see that Deegis, yeah, he rolled absolute maximum, I think, on this engagement right here. Pretty good. He dealt 4 HP of damage to the recon, which is very rare. But day 7 rolls in, and I decide to use my black boat to transport my infantry forward, and I move my tanks in as well. Love the things that you can do with the black boats here. It's insanely useful. I pull my recon back to the forests in hopes of healing it up. I don't want it to take damage, and I know that a tank is right around the corner. Deegis aggressively moving his infantry forward. These two cities or these cities right here are very hard to take. These 4 cities right here are usually the most contested cities on the entire map. So Deegis opens up another recon and an artillery. As day 8 rolls in, I start capping my com tower. Deegis already has his com tower, actually. And I move my recon back as well. Move my tank over here, because usually I'm used to there being some recons popping up here whenever I play Goldfish Princess, but turns out there was no such recons here now. So I build 2 more tanks. So here you can see that I actually have a lot more tanks than Deegis. Deegis has gone 2nd recon artillery, which means his tank presence is going to be a little lower than mine. I should be able to capitalize on this if I can take some good engagements, but look at these missile silos and how Deegis is using them to guard his captures. He moves in with his artillery, moves in his recon as well into the center of the map, as day 9 rolls in, and we are very equal in the capture game so far. I think both players playing pretty equally right here. I come in with my tank and I interrupt the capture. Love this with Jess. She's usually able to get the infantry down to 4 HP, which makes it a lot harder to finalize that cap. And I actually get myself trapped here. I didn't realize Deegis already had an infantry here. He was playing very aggressively with his capture right here. So, but I'm moving in. I'm setting up for a big strike here. And Deegis actually goes for it. He comes in with both of his tanks. And of course, because he's already on cities, it's going to be kind of hard for me to counterattack this. And he already moves in with another battlecopter as well, but I have an anti-air coming, so I'm not overly concerned about that. But yeah, again, look at this black boat. It's so nice, you know? How it can be used to repair the tanks after taking engagements makes it a lot harder to dislodge them from those cities. That 1 HP of repair can make a big difference in certain engagements. So here I have some tanks to attack with, and I decide to go straight for it right away. I do see that he has I didn't expect him to have an artillery there, but I used my recon to dislodge this tank, and then I begin the capture. And then I also get some other good engagements right here. If I was any other CO than Jess here, this would have been a kill. So this is a good example of how Jess's minus 10% firepower really dicks her over, because I had a com tower. Actually, no, never mind. Never mind. I had a com tower, so it would have been like a 50% chance to kill, I think. But with Jess, the chances, I think she still has a small... Actually, no, because minus 10 plus 10. So with 1 com tower, Jess can never 2-shot infantry on cities. With 1 com tower for other COs, I do believe there's a small chance. I think it's like a 33% chance that they might be able to do it. So yeah, I just decided to go for it. I bring down the tank. So I actually managed to kill both of his tanks. But the problem is I've now placed myself right in the line of sight of his artillery. So I just tried to make sure to cover all these missile silos as much as possible. But let's see what he just decides to do. He comes in with some infantry. And he goes pretty aggressive on the capture right here. Comes in with the artillery, with the recon. Actually, really should have blocked that city. And he actually moves his battlecopter right into range of my anti-air. I was pretty happy to see that. And he has his power ready now. He absolutely can use it if he wants to, but he doesn't. So it's my turn. I move my tank back. I move my anti-air in. Kill his battlecopter. And then I actually get a nice little shot on his artillery. Of course, he's going to be able to repair that up, which is annoying. So I do have to try and make sure to kill as many units as I can. And I do try to do that. I don't pop my power. There we go. I do not pop my power. I decide that that's probably not going to be very useful. I think I'd rather save up for a superpower. But he just has almost 2 powers charge up right now. So he can use them in he can use them consecutively, and it's going to be pretty powerful. So day 12 rolls in, and I think he's going to pop his power today, but he's going to go for some engagements to get maximum healing out of it. And there we go. He pops his hyper repair and heals up quite a lot of HP, which is good. And of course, more importantly, getting that 10% attack and defense bonus, which is so nice. And he techs up. So already on day 12, I knew Aegis was going to tech up at some point, but I didn't expect him to do it this soon. So this is actually really good. He builds a medium tank on turn 12. Andy is all about tanking up and getting strong, scary units. This is very hard to kill his medium tanks. So at this point, I remember thinking, okay, so I have 18,000, and I remember thinking very specifically, okay, is this the turn that I build a medium tank? And I really should have. I really should have built a medium tank here. I pop my turbocharge. And I start taking some engagements. I go for his recon with my anti-air. Overall, though, looking at like this turn of turbocharge right here, it wasn't super viable. Like if you really look at the engagements that I made, it wasn't much. What did I do? Like I got a couple of tank engagements right here. Did some damage to a recon. Didn't really do much with this turbocharge. So honestly, in hindsight, probably should have just saved it. If you really look at the damage that I did, it wasn't a lot. So D just comes in here. He gets some decent tank engagements right here, and he's going to be able to pop his power if he wants to. And I think that's exactly what he's going to do. He even takes some engagements right here so he can heal up the damage later. So again, there we go. Pops his hyper repair and just heals most units that he has on the battlefield, just getting a lot of mileage out of those repair-based powers. And then again, this artillery is so masterfully placed right here. It's covering all of his tanks. Yeah, it's on a road, but how the hell am I going to attack it? Now, this anti-air did a lot of work up here in the top left. It killed a lot of infantry. So even though it didn't really do much after the battlecopter, it still helped clean up a lot of infantry, so I was pretty happy with it. But here, I made the decision last turn to build 2 tanks and a recon, when I had no idea a medium tank was on its way, but I really, really should have built a medium tank, because I'm about to really struggle here. Because I don't have any artillery out either, so there isn't really a good way for me to deal with the medium tank. So once again, I'm not building a medium tank, I'm building 2 tank infantry. At this point, it's day 14, I really need to be teching up. So this is a huge mistake for me. I did not tech up properly, and once that medium tank enters the fray, I will really have no response to it. So D just moves in right here. Little skirmishes taking place down here in the bottom right. He's also going for a lot of caps. We are tied on income right now, but he is threatening multiple properties. So I need to be careful here. And again, such a good position for this artillery right here. So again, once again, this anti-air just continues to make work, and I got a second anti-air. I really expected he just to be spamming a lot more battlecopters on this map. I was actually very surprised to see his restraint when it came to battlecopters. He did not build many of them at all. But what he does have, and I still don't see it. Actually, now I see it, because I transported the infantry down here. Now I see the medium tank, and I'm like, oh no, this is bad. I have no response. And I actually decide to attack, which is a really weird decision. I really should have been pulling back at this point because I do have a medium tank coming on the way here. But next turn, Deej is going to have a field day with this medium tank. I don't really know why I went so aggressive, but that's usually me whenever I play Fogman. I get very aggressive. So Deej is going to have a field day here, shoots with this artillery, comes in with the medium tank to kill my tank, and now it's on a silo, so that thing is just not dying. It is just not dying. And he has his powers almost ready soon too to heal it up further. So really strong placement right here. And Deej just actually techs up again to a Neo tank. I had no idea this was coming. Day 15 rolls in. And I pop my turbocharge. I'm like, screw it. If I pull back now, I'm going to lose for sure. Let's see how much damage I can do. I come in with the tank. I kill his recon. I spot his artillery. Kill his other infantry as well. And I actually get a lot of good engagements right here. I'm actually dealing a crazy amount of damage to him. And I make sure I finish off his units as well. And now I have the medium tank in range as well. Although if he moves his medium tank away, that's going to be bad for me. So it is actually a fairly strong push. Like, I'm able to deal some decent damage to him here. And his Neo tank is not really in the picture yet. But he has his power ready once again. In comes the recon. He interrupts my cap once again. Deej is very good at utilizing recons. And now the Neo tank, once that Neo tank comes, it's going to be very, very tough for me to do anything. And he, once again, makes a lot of engagement, pops his hyper repair to heal up his units, and he's able to get his medium tank out of the way as well. So he moves that wisely out of range of my medium tank, which is very smart. And once again, I continue to just take engagements. I had a bit of a lead early on, I think, but it's starting to go away now because, again, I'm pulling some of my units back here because I want to wait until my own medium tank is ready, but little do I know that a Neo tank is right around the corner, and I cannot even see it, which is really bad for me. And now D just goes really aggressive as an error occurs. And at this point, I do believe, I don't think I see it quite yet. No, I don't even see the Neo tank yet. I pop another turbocharge. I kill his recon. I remember feeling really good about this turn. I was like, oh wow, I am actually doing really well right now. I'm killing a lot of his units. I was like, oh man, I'm coming back into the game right now. And I don't even see the Neo tank. It is still hidden. I build a battlecopter to see if I can try and take him off guard, even though D just has actually anticipated that and he has an anti already. And I remember thinking, this is going pretty well, and then I see the Neo tank, and at this point I'm like, oh, okay. It's Jover, man, it's Jover. He has his hyper repair ready. There's absolutely nothing I can do about this. So, at this point, I decide to attack over here, but it really is Jover now, guys. It is really Jover. Once that Neo tank came in, now that thing is just going to eat up tanks every single turn. And there really is nothing I can do about it. He pops another hyper repair for good measure. And at this point, it really is lost. I think I ended up playing 2 more turns or something like that just to see. I do get a Neo tank out, but it is simply too late, ladies and gentlemen. It is simply too late. Side has been getting a little bit more errors lately, which is a little bit annoying. But yeah, at this point, Deej is just doing his victory lap. I build a missile of respects before I throw in the hat and resign. Obviously, Deej is a better player than me, but it was still interesting just to see Clone Andy in this format. Obviously, Clone Andy will be a little bit worse if he actually gets added as a CO to Dawson's Web because he doesn't have a superpower. But I still think they should do it. So, ladies and gentlemen, head over to the petition made by Red Halo. Sign it. Let's get this momentum going. Let's get Clone Andy into Advanced Wars by Web. He probably won't be a good CO, but he doesn't need to be. We just want him to be there. And maybe that'll open up the door to add something else as well in the future. That'd be nice. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And look out for this game being casted on Deegis' channel. He's probably going to go into a lot more debt than I will. So definitely check that out. I'll link to it when it comes out. And hoping to do more games with Deegis soon. See you guys. Bye-bye.